Hit play and step into 100 lives starting with you, a Wall Street debt enforcer. Yeah, the guy who makes billionaires sweat over overdue margin calls. Let's dive in. You didn't choose this. Back in 2008, your dad was a mid-tier hedge fund manager. When the market crashed, he didn't just lose money, he owed $20 million to a private equity firm with ties to the Gambino crime family. He vanished, leaving you, a 17-year-old with a full-ride scholarship to NYU, holding the bill. That's when Vincent, the butcher Marino, found you. He's not the tattooed goon you see in movies. He's a Harvard-educated lawyer turned enforcer with a Rolex and a knack for making people reconsider their financial priorities. He offered you a deal. Work off the debt by becoming his protege. Refuse, and your mom loses the Brooklyn brownstone. You said yes. First lesson. In Wall Street's shadow debt market, empathy is a liability. They don't feel bad when they short your dad's life savings, Vincent said, handing you a stack of files. Don't feel bad when you take their yacht. Your first target, Maxwell Thorne, a tech bro who'd blown $50 million on a failed crypto startup and owed $15 million to Vincent's clients. You tracked him to a Hamptons party, where he was bragging about his new Tesla Roadster. You didn't yell, you didn't threaten, you just walked up, slipped him a note. Your daughter's tuition at Phillips Exeter? Fully paid by your creditor? For now, he paled. By dawn, the $15 million was wired. Vincent nodded. Good. Now, let's talk about leverage. Leverage became your religion. You didn't collect debt, you engineered fear. For a real estate mogul who owed $30 million, you accidentally sent photos of his mistress to his wife's charity, Gala Planner. For a hedge fund manager who defaulted, you leaked whispers about an SEC investigation that you'd started, anonymously. One night, you invited Vincent to a celebration at your loft. When he arrived, you played a recording, him admitting to fraud, to the Gambino ties, to ruining Claire's dad. Then you hit send. Every file went to the FBI, the SEC, and the New York Times. Vincent laughed. You think they'll care? Wall Street eats guys like you for breakfast. But you'd already called Claire. She was on her way to meet with a pro bono lawyer, armed with proof that her dad's debt was a sham. By morning, Vincent was in custody. The news broke. Wall Street debt kingpin arrested in massive fraud scheme. Your phone blew up with calls from reporters, but you didn't answer. You just sat on your couch, staring at the Brooklyn Bridge from your window. You never got the $20 million cleared. But Claire sent you a thank you note she'd gotten a full scholarship to NYU Law, just like you once had. And you realized you weren't just a debt enforcer. You were a product of a system that feeds on debt, on fear, on people too broken to fight back. Now, you're starting over. Maybe you'll go back to school. Maybe you'll help people like Claire navigate the shadow debt market. But one thing's for sure, you'll never look at a past due notice the same way again. Stay tuned for the next life. What should we do next? A Hollywood stunt double, a Amazon warehouse organizer. Let me know in the comments. By 25, you were Vincent's right hand. You had a corner office in a Tribeca loft, a black Audi R8, and a reputation, the calculator, because you could crunch numbers and break spirits with equal precision. But at night, you'd stare at the files of people you'd ruined. A single mom who lost her daycare, a veteran who sold his Purple Heart to pay a debt you'd inflated. Then came Claire. She was 22, fresh out of Stanford, working as a paralegal for a firm that owed $20 million. Her dad, the CEO, had died of a heart attack right after you'd sent him a dossier of his embezzlement. You'd fabricated half of it. You met her at a deposition. She was crying, but not angry, confused. Why did my dad owe so much? She asked. You showed her the numbers, but when she pulled out a photo of her dad and her as a kid, standing in front of their first diner, something in you cracked. That night, you dug into Claire's dad's case. Turns out, Vincent had inflated the debt by 300% just to line his own pockets. You also found out Claire was working 3 jobs to pay for her dad's debt while putting herself through law school. You started planning. For months, you'd been secretly copying Vincent's ledgers, his deals with corrupt politicians, his money laundering through Miami real estate, even the $20 million your dad actually owed, Vincent had tripled it.